All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Mike Thomas's Garage. We're out here this evening, just kind of finishing up a few things, kind of working on the Corvette a little bit, kind of trying to get it polished and cleaned up from the car show that I went to over the weekend, and kind of getting some things figured out on it. I had a check engine light on that came up on Sunday, so I believe we kind of got that figured out. So I've been kind of driving it here and there. And so far it hasn't caused any more issues. So got that figured out, but we also been working on the OBS LS build and the transmission. So we're going to kind of go over everything for the truck and the transmission, kind of give you guys an update, because I know the last time that we did, we were starting the process for converting this from four-wheel drive to two-wheel drive. So as you can see, we got the tail shaft and we also got the output shaft installed, which is this right here. Piece of cake, is all easy, slam dunk to get it taken apart to do that and get that changed. So here's the old output shaft. So that's the old one. And then there is the spacer that goes on the back of the transmission for the transfer case to bolt up to. So those are just sitting there. That's all out. And we went to start to put this back together, and I found some stuff that I was concerned with, and on the steels and clutches in this right here. So we found some issues there, and then plus with this right here, I don't know if that's natural or if that's what's going on there. So I'm gonna see if the rebuild kit comes with one, or if I can just get a new one. But we are gonna replace the steels and the clutches and all that. So let me get this piece set up here. This way I can show you what I see that is concerning for me, and the reason why I'm deciding to go ahead and rebuild this and make it all fresh. It's kind of shocking to actually see that with it having 158,000 miles on it. So, but we're going to try to see if we can just rebuild it ourselves and go from there. So let me get this set up here, get this flipped over, and then I can show you what I'm talking about and all that. So, and then we can go over some stuff on that. Okay, so I got this flipped over, and this way I can show you what we are talking about. So there's that piece. And so if you actually see all those steels right there, they all look kind of burgered up. So that is kind of concerning for me. I don't think I have ever seen the steels look like that before. So we are going to, in order to do it, I'm going to go ahead and replace the steels, the clutches, and this, and go through all this down in here as well, just to make sure that this is going to be good for when we put it in there. So so that's the plan. So we kind of stopped on this, trying to get parts and stuff, find them and stuff. I do have a place that we go through to get the parts and all that. So once I get the parts and everything for the transmission, then we can get that finished up and go from there. But before I go any further with tearing this down and all that, I'm going to get all the parts first, and then we can take a weekend and focus on that and get it put back together and ready to go. So that's the plan. That's where we're at with the transmission. So I don't want to leave you guys hanging on that. So really it's just the output shaft. So this is what you would have to do to get the to convert this from 4-wheel to 2-wheel drive. So what we did is we took the bell housing off, which is right here. Took the bell housing, we took the pump off, we removed the band, which is this right here. This is the band. Remove that. Here's the pump right here. And we just removed, so we removed this from those 2 bolts right here. So this bolt and this one, and this slides into the pump, which I believe goes somewhere in here on the pump. I can't remember which one it goes into. So just pretty much those 2 bolts. Remove this. So this has to move first, which there's this spring that slides right in there that clips that solenoid down. So you remove that spring from here, remove that, undo the 2 bolts, slide that out, and then remove the pump, and then you can remove both these out together as a unit. And there is a snap ring. Let me find my flashlight. So there is a snap ring right here. Let me try to see if I can zoom in. So yeah, the snap ring is right here. See the other end right here, and then the other one's right here. So you just got to remove that snap ring and then hammer that shaft down, and then set the new shaft in and reinstall that snap ring, and you will be all set. And that's what you would need to do to convert this from 4-wheel drive to 2-wheel drive. And then the way you took it apart, you just put it back together the same way you took it apart, just going vice versa, backwards. So that's the plan. But with the issues that we found with the transmission, we're going to make it right, and we're going to fix it and all that. So so that's it for the transmission. That's where we're at. We're waiting for parts to come in for that and all that. So now the wiring harness for the truck and for the engine and transmission. Like I said, we went through painless wiring harness. Part number 60221 is the part number that you would need to work for this application for this truck. So it is for a 2003 to 2006 wiring harness for the Vortec system. So that's it right there. And all that. So because it's for the drive-by-wire and the transmission, so it has all the transmission connectors. And also one of the end also came with the knock sensors too. So which was a plus. And then it also, which really sold me on it, is it had the connectors for this. All the other wiring harnesses that I found did not come with the connectors for this or the knock sensors. So luckily enough, when I was up at the Good Guys Car Show up in September, we did find Painless up there, and we actually talked to them and reached out and talked to them, and they said, yeah, this is the wiring harness you would need for this to make it work. So right now everything is all hooked up. There is one connector that's a little different that I need to modify on another end to make it work. So other than that, the injectors, everything. So everything is there, everything is ran and everything. So here is the wiring harness. So this is So yeah, this is the wiring harness right here. This is one of the connectors that go down at the temp sensor here, the alternator one, and then it just runs, got the coil, runs back there, and then it has the map sensor wire there, and then it has the drive-by-wire throttle body, the mass airflow sensor, all the injectors, and the crank sensor, and then the cam sensor back there behind the intake. And then also gave me an extension. I believe this is for the drive-by-wire cable that goes from the wiring harness to the module for the gas pedal, which is right here. So it goes to this, and then the other one, the other connector goes from here to the gas pedal. So, and one of the other things too is I pulled out the other gas pedal, and so there's a bracket that I need to get this gas pedal. I need to get the bracket for this gas pedal to fit on the OBS firewall holes that is already there, which I did find that. I just need to get that ordered, and then we can get that installed. And then also what I need to do is, this also came in the kit as well, this brake switch. So I need to pull the one off the steering column and get that one mounted. I want to use the brake switch that came with the wiring harness because it is for the wiring harness. So we're gonna stick with that, and we're gonna get that. So I still need to get that mounted and all that. So here is the wiring harness coming into the truck. So I got it routed into the truck because we're gonna put the computer underneath the seat and make it kind of clean looking. In the process of doing that, we kind of did run into some issues with trying to get it to work with the factory seats that I have in the truck right now. So let me turn this around and show you what we got going on. So here's the computer, and then this is the whole wiring harness for this, and then there is the fuse block and the relays and stuff for all that. There is the connector that needs to go for the throttle body. And then here is the OBD2 port and your little check engine light and stuff. So I removed the driver's seat because I was going to mount it. I was going to mount it right underneath here, but kind of flip it so that the wiring can go underneath the carpet and kind of down here. But with the bracket with the other seat, it wouldn't allow the wiring harness to fit and operate like it should. So I was going to take this and put it underneath that seat, but with the clearance from underneath the seat and the spring that is right there on top of the tunnel, it wasn't going to work. It's not giving me the clearance and stuff that I need. So I am going to end up changing the seats in here, and I'm going to put 2 bucket seats in it. I did find a company that actually has the bucket seats with putting a console right here. Console with cup holders, and then doing it that way, that should be able to allow me to take the computer and set it here, and then run the wiring harness down here. Now, as you can see, there is a hole right here. So this truck came with a manual transmission. So we got rid of that, and we are going to use this hole to run the wiring through. It's going to be a lot neater than this, and you will never know that we have wiring coming through down here and stuff. I'm going to cover the hole, but I'm going to fix it where it's nice and neat and doesn't tear up the wiring harness, and then we will replace the carpet and then make it where it's all one, and you'll never know that hole was ever there unless you see this video, or if you actually crawl underneath there and see, but we're going to fix that hole properly and make it right and put the carpet over it so you can't see it. So that's the plan. That's what the plan is. I did find some bucket seats and the console that will go in here and should work for what I'm trying to do. So with the console and all that. So that way we can take this and have it hidden back there underneath the seat and all that. So that's pretty much about it. So kind of right now we're kind of at a stopping point until I can get some parts in here so we can continue on placing stuff, getting stuff mocked up and all that. So yeah, I just want to give you guys an update on that. Got the wiring harness, everything's working good for that. And also, all right, sorry about that, I had to take a phone call. So all right, so first of all, we had to make some changes. As you can tell, putting the old intake back on it. We had the jigs, aluminum polished intake and all that stuff on it and everything, and kind of ran into some difficulties with that. And I love the intake, and with certain things it was kind of starting to become a little bit more difficult to use and everything. So we went back to this one, and we're going to use this one because it'll be easy for me just to plumb stuff up and everything and all that, because with the other intake I would have to have it tuned and all that, and I really didn't want to fight with having it tuned and all that and everything. I might have it tuned a little bit, but I can do it with this intake and everything. And because we are thinking about putting a blower and stuff on it, but with the blower and stuff that I'm looking at for this is going to only be like 6 pounds on 6 pounds of boost and all that. So that blower that I'm looking at to put on here will still work with this intake and all that. Excuse me, sorry about that. It is the blower application that I'm looking at is for this application, and it will work. It'll work with the serpentine belt system setup and all that and everything. So it's going to work perfectly. So this is just what I'm going to have to deal with. And the other reason why I decided to go back to this intake is because I'm having to deal with emissions and all that. And I really didn't want to fight with stuff with that other intake and all that, trying to get it to pass emissions with the other intake. There's other people that have actually put those intakes on their LS motors and they passed emissions and stuff, but I just want to make this project a simple, easy project. I'll clean this intake up really good. It'll look like a brand new intake after I get done with it. And I will be getting the covers and stuff on it. I did find some real cool covers, engine covers to put on this and everything. So it's actually pretty sweet, the covers I found. It will actually dress that up really good. So we're gonna do that. I found the cold air intake for this. That's gonna work. And I also found the bracket to hold the radiator, because right now I just got a piece of tape holding the radiator up here. So I found the bracket that will work for that, and I got to do some trimming down on the lower radiator part to get it to fit a little bit better. And then also one of the other concerns I have that eventually I'm going to have to take a look at is this filler neck right here. Just the way the radiator is sitting in here, it is actually sitting up pretty high, and it's pretty close to where the hood is going to sit. So I don't know if I need to cut the bracing for the hood to kind of notch around this. So at some point I will have to test fit the hood and see if that needs to be notched. But not too bad for that and all that. And then we are going to be doing some changes to the suspension. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but if I did, we are going to be changing the rear suspension on the rear, and we're going to change the shocks in the front and everything. So definitely stay tuned for all that and stuff. So that's going to be pretty fun to get on that and do all that stuff. So I just want to give you guys an update. I know it's been a while. I've been battling some stuff. As you can tell, my voice is still kind of messed up right now. So I'm been kind of battling some stuff. So I think I'm getting a little bit better. It's going to take a little bit for me to get my voice back, and coughing is getting better and stuff. So the medication that I'm on is working a little bit for that. So yeah, so that's pretty much just an update on the OBS LS build and all that. So right now we're kind of going to be at a small little pause until we can get some parts in here. But as soon as we get some parts in here to continue, we will continue. So, and here eventually that will be coming over here. And then this is going to go sit on the 2-post lift. So this way I can have it over here and I can be able to work and I don't have to move stuff out. As you can see, the boat's not in here. The boat's been sitting outside for about a week. So behind my fence, locked up, gated and stuff. So it's sitting in the backyard, wrapped up and everything. But the weather's been nice, so it's just got the cover and stuff on it. But probably here tomorrow, the boat will probably be coming back in the garage because we are supposed to get some weather here coming in. So I at least want to get it back in the garage and covered and stuff. And then, like I said, I got to get some wheels, kind of some mock-up wheels, those orange mock-up wheels to stick on this. And then once I get those, then this can move onto the 2-post lift. Then this can come over here. And with this being over here, with the road truck being over here, I can be able to work and not have to worry about pulling stuff outside to work on it. So luckily enough, the weather's been nice enough for me to have stuff set outside for me to work on this. But we are getting close enough here in Colorado that it's a matter of time before that light switch change, before that switch changes for when we start getting snow and cold and freezing. So we've had a couple days that's been freezing and cold, but I'm in here in the garage and I got my heater going. Got that fired up over the weekend, and it's keeping about 63, between 63 and 66 in here. And I'm out here working in shorts and a t-shirt, and it's great. So pretty happy with it and all that. So yeah, we're gonna call this a wrap. We're gonna wrap this up for today and go from there. And I want to thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate you guys watching. Please like and subscribe. Turn that bell notification on so you can see all the times that I post videos. And let's keep growing this channel. I know a lot of people have watched the videos for the OBS LS build. I definitely like to keep going with this to get this all done and completed. So again, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys very much. See ya.